Dr. Owusu Ochoa. It's Dr. O for the 804. As the premier knee and hip shoulder sports surgeon in Virginia, I would like to remind you that health equals power. Sports build and uplift communities, nothing else can. The mission of sports medicine is to keep athletes of all ages and levels at the top of their game. Dr. O is located at Ortho, Virginia, Schrader Road office location. Appointments can be scheduled online at orthovirginia.com or by calling 804-939-6688. You can follow Dr. O on Instagram at Dr. O _ for the 804 and uplifting educational content about sports health.
Hi everyone, I'm Coach Rick Stockel. I am co-owner of Newman & Dunn Real Estate here in Central Virginia, as well as I am a high school boys basketball coach at Monacan High School. I've sold over 1,300 homes here in Central Virginia, and I would love to work with you and your family in your home buying needs. I am a proud primary sponsor of Ballin' in Virginia, and I hope you enjoy this show.
Welcome to another episode of Ballin' in VA, Saturday, December 28th. Man, we got a special guest in here today, Coach Rasheed Wright from the Manchester High girls basketball team, state champion class 6 2024. Thank you for coming in, man. How you doing?
Man, thank you. I appreciate the invitation. I'm doing well.
Good, man. Good. Well, you know, like I said, man, I know it's a little bit, we started this season, man. Football is king around here, man, but we got to get the girls in here, man.
Right.
You know, a lot of people know I've been following the girls' game since 1991. You know, started with Chantel Atkins and Henrico, and it's just been going on. The girls don't get a lot of love, but it seems like it's the perfect time now, man, for everything. First, I want to say to you first on air, happy belated birthday. Your birthday was yesterday.
Thank you.
And I want to say congratulations, man, on winning that state championship last year. Record crowd, man.
Yes.
Record crowd.
Yes.
Did you expect any of that crowd being like that, man, the Segal Center, man, for a girls' basketball game, just in general?
I can't say that I expected it, but I can say that I was very happy about it because I would say maybe 3 or 4 years before that, we were in practice, and the girls on the team were like sitting on the floor, and they were kind of talking about, some of the disadvantages that women have in basketball, girls sports and everything. And I kind of walked past them and I heard them talking. And I was like, so I engaged them in the conversation. I said, let me ask y'all a question. We had just been, and this is no shade to anybody, but we had just beaten the team 81-11. And I asked them, I said, would y'all pay money to go watch them play? And they started laughing. And it's like, no, we ain't going to pay money to watch them play. And so I was like, well, then y'all know why people don't pay money to watch girls play basketball. And then they got quiet. And I said, now, if you want people to come in here and pay money to watch y'all play, y'all have to be doing something on the court for people to leave here and go tell somebody about it to come back and watch the game. And this is not because you're girls. It's because of the work ethic that you put in this, the sacrifice, the dedication to the game to raise your level. And 3 years later, we played Thomas Dale in the regional championship game. And when I pulled up to the gym and I saw the line was wrapped around the building and walked in there, it's standing room only, man, first of all, it's a great basketball environment.
Yes.
But that to me felt like accomplishment. Not for me per se, but the girls, and not just our girls.
Right.
Like I told you, I've only been back in the United States 9 years. So like Nile and Savannah and a lot of those players, I coached Rain in Spring Run Rec when she played for Wales. And then they were at Carver, and they played against each other at least 2 times in the championship game, once in the semifinal games, and then now in high school. Right. And I told my daughter when she was 10, 11 years old, first time I saw Nala, first time I saw Laney, I said, man, if y'all keep working, when y'all get to high school, man, this is going to be awesome.
Yes.
So to see that crowd in the regional championship game and the state championship game, I feel like not just me, girls basketball in this area accomplished a huge feat.
Yes, and I'm going to piggyback on that, man, too. And that's great that you say that. You got Nala, Savannah, Laney, Rain, all of them played at the same time. Sanaa Green, And it's crazy because Laney, shout out to Laney Grant, UNC, She was in the state championship game last year, same time. And then you got Nyla and Savannah playing against Rain and Big Mia, you know what I'm saying? And it's just crazy of just how everything just came together. Like you said, y'all been playing together since y'all was young. So to see that crowd, first of all, we got to go back to the regional championship game when the crowd was all the way around the field. You couldn't get in there. Man, you had John Marshall, basketball boys. Shout out to Ty White, Coach Blackwell, Coach Ward, and those boys, man. Everybody came in, the team came in. It was like everybody today. I think I saw my man Coach Edmonds was there from Hopewell. I was like, oh wow, it's like everybody, who was there.
Right.
So to come out in that environment, man, it's just a test of y'all work, of all the girls teams here, just putting in that work and just keep pushing, man, because we need that around here. Because like I said, 757, Northern Virginia, they got a platform where people can talk about them. We just never had that around here. So I just want to shout out to y'all, man. But let's kind of recap, man, before we go into everything else you do. Well, first, let me back up because I'm gonna kind of get y'all something to kind of wait for. First of all, let's talk about your background, man.
Okay.
Give us. Where did it all start for you?
Well, I was born in Richmond. A lot of people don't know that. I was born in Richmond, right off Belt Boulevard near Southside Plaza. My mom's family is from Sussex County. So from Sussex County, Petersburg, Hopewell, Richmond, I have countless cousins, aunts, uncles, but we moved to Greensboro, North Carolina when I was 5. So I'm a North Carolina boy. I grew up down there, and basketball is religion in North Carolina. You know it.
If you don't know, you found out just now.
It is religion, man. Like, we take it very, very seriously. And then, so, like, I was a kid, and I tell this story when I do a lot of speaking engagements, man. I'm a kid that loved the game. My father put the basketball in my hand. I used to have wars with my father and at parks, at driveways, playing against older guys at the YMCA. But, man, I got cut in 7th grade.
Are you serious?
Man, I got cut in 7th grade, man, after playing, rec, Y, with my homeboys, and then everybody go out. I get cut from the middle school team in 7th grade. And I'm talking about, if anybody ever got cut before, embarrassment, disappointment.
You ain't joking.
I'm talking about crying, snotting, all that stuff, man. And then at that point, my father was like, so what you gonna do? You gonna really be serious about this work? Or you just gonna feel sorry for yourself? And so that's kind of really when my work took another step forward. Like, I'm talking, and my dad boxed. My dad was in the military. So I grew up with that type of upbringing.
Wow.
And so, man, I just became kind of really like psychopathic about running, weight room, how much I dribbled the ball, how much I shot the ball. And I just kept getting better and better and better. And then it really didn't really come into fruition until the summer before my junior year in high school.
Okay.
So I played JV as a freshman at Southern Guilford High School in Greensboro, North Carolina.
Yep.
Played varsity as a sophomore year, probably averaged like 18 points, 10 rebounds. I was like play defense, rebound. I could always shoot, couldn't really handle like that.
Okay.
And then my AAU team ended up not having a team that summer.
Okay.
So a coach, shout out to John Allen, Coach John Allen, Winston-Salem, North Carolina, legend, came to one of my high school games and recruited me to come play AAU with a team in Winston-Salem called Kappa Magic.
Okay.
As a guy that do exactly what I just said. And so one day after practice, I'm sitting there shooting threes with my dad. My dad's rebounding for me. Practice at Winston-Salem State. Coach Allen is watching me shoot. He comes down. He's like, man, you can shoot? And I was like, yeah, I can shoot. He said, you a 2-guard. I'm going to go find me another post player.
Oh, wow.
And so that summer, I had a up and down summer because the ups were I found myself on the perimeter a lot.
Right.
So I had games I done hit 6 threes, 7 threes, but I never really had to bring the ball up against a smaller guard or defend a smaller guard, right? So there was a lot of learning curve happening there.
Okay.
And so we get to the state tournament. Because back then, AAU, I don't even want to get into this, but I got to tell this story.
Go ahead. I'm going to let you do it. I'm going to cross my legs because I know where you're going.
Oh, my God. Because I try to explain this to parents so many times. Like, AAU is still a thing. It's a governing body.
Right.
But back when I'm 44, back when I was growing up, AAU was it.
It was it.
You play rec basketball or you play AAU. And if you play AAU, you got selected to go to tryouts.
That's
to
right.
try and make the team.
Right.
You couldn't pay to make the team.
No parents.
No, it wasn't 40 travel teams in the city. You had to have already done something to be selected to try out.
Yep.
And you're only gonna have one, maybe two AAU teams in every city.
Yep.
So fast forward, we're in the state tournament. We're playing against a team out of Salisbury with a guy on the team named Scooter Sherrill. Shout out to Scooter Sherrill, who ended up playing at NC State.
Okay.
And I was just having a terrible game, man. I mean, I'm missing layups. And shout out to my father, man. You can hear my father from the stand. My father is 6'3", unibrow, beard, big guy, and I mean he's very vocal.
Okay.
And so I'm nervous. I mean, it's just a terrible game, man. Coach takes me out the game, and he's like, I go and sit at the end of the bench because I'm 16. I don't have any letters. I'm kind of like I'm a good player, but not really known.
No social media.
On no social media. So I'm sitting at the end of the bench really like debating, I mean, do I really want to play basketball? You know what I mean? I'm kind of like in that space. Coach Allen comes down there and he says, I'm going to put you back in this game and you're going to win this game for us. And so, like most kids at that age, you want. Of course, I didn't disrespect Coach Allen, but in my head, I'm like, don't put me back in the game.
Right.
So he puts me back in the game. Long story short, we're down by 2, 5 seconds, 4 seconds, something like that left in the game. He draws up a stack play, and I'm at the back of the stack. So the ball's been taken out of bounds. Everybody's in the line. Everybody breaks. I go backwards. So in my head, I'm thinking, I'm not going to get the ball. Man, here comes the basketball, man. And I catch the basketball and just instinctively take a dribble and pull it for 3 and hit the shot. We win the game. I run around the gym. Everybody come out the stands. All my teammates run around the gym. And my confidence goes from 0 to 100. Wow. And after that game, and I'm talking about I just went on a tear, man. We finished 12th in the nation that year.
Okay.
Letters start coming. I go into my junior year. I averaged 24 points a game my junior year. That's the next summer. I'm an AAU All-American with Joe Johnson, Nick Collison, Hollis Price. I'm the #1 shooting guard in the state. I averaged 25 points a game my senior year. I'm
North Carolina?
Yeah, I'm a McDonald's All-American nominee. I break every scoring record in my high school. I just go crazy, man. And then I go to ODU because Coach Capel was a coach at North Carolina A&T was coming up. Okay. Little Jeff played at Duke, and Jason is only a year older than me, so he was at Greensboro Day School when they were in town, and that family was a big talking point.
That's right.
So got recruited by a lot of mid-majors. Because I was a late bloomer, some of the bigger schools wanted me to wait for the last signing period, and I got some good advice to say, don't play your senior year under pressure. Go with who wants you now, who's been recruiting you, where you can play, and then, relax during your senior year. So I did that. And then I went to play at ODU, and then get to ODU and culture shock. I ain't strong enough. I ain't fast enough. The language, everything is like I'm a fish out of water, man. Like in high school, I'm shooting every shot.
Right.
You got to learn plays. You got to. Yes, man. So I go from being a big time player to averaging 2 points a game my freshman year.
Okay.
And then I just went right back in that mindset my dad set on me. I didn't go to spring break. I didn't go home for the summer. And my parents didn't play about grades, right? A C is a bad grade. So I was the senior class president. I graduated with a 4.0. Wow. I was in the marching band. I played violin for 6 years.
Wow.
I was on the debate club. I mean, they had me in everything, man. So with that mindset, that summer, I just lived on the track, lived in the weight room, lived in the gym, and I was determined that when everybody got back, I was going to be different. I earned a starting spot my sophomore year, averaged about 10 points. And then Coach Capel, they didn't renew Coach Capel's contract. And shout out to Coach Capel, God rest his soul, man. Like the impact he had on me, like as a man, and the mindset of how to compete on that level, I take with me every day now. But then my junior and senior year, Blaine Taylor came in from Stanford. And I'm talking about we're so opposite. And he's so opposite from Coach Capel, where I actually thought about transferring, man. I was like, I don't know if I want to do this. But he came in and brought that Stanford system and taught me about footwork and how to read the defense and how to defend. And I'm talking about like the real nuances of the game. And then I already could shoot. Then I just became a weapon. Now I can run off screens, play off my shot fake, play off jab steps, read the defense. Wow. And so I scored 1,000 points at ODU.
Really? Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. 1,000 points
That's
ODU.
what's up, bro.
Then I got invited to play in at Portsmouth Invitational. Did okay there. Didn't get invited to Chicago. Played in some European exposure camps, and then I got a job playing in France.
Okay.
And then, man, I played 13 years in France. My first 3 years I played in a small town called Saint-Vallier. Then I played in Vichy, France. No, I played in Paris, France. Then I played in Vichy, France. Then I played 4 years in Poitiers, France, where one of my daughters was born. And then I played in Saint-Quentin. I played in Toulon. I came back to Saint-Quentin. And then I finished my career at Saint-Vallier, where my jersey is retired, man. And I won a national championship in Poitiers. Wow. And then we came on back home.
Man, I didn't know that. See, now I knew you played overseas, but this thing was deep, man.
Yes.
And I'm glad you were able to come here and give us for people who don't know.
Yes, yes.
Because a lot of times these are the backstories and stuff that we know. We just see you guys what's up front, but we don't know what behind the scenes. So a lot of times to get to know you, we got to have platforms like this and other platforms, 804 Podcast, Rich's Podcast, whoever it is, man, to be able to bring coaches on like yourself, man, to do that. So after that, where did it go from there?
So I came home, man. My last game was a loss in the championship game, right? So sitting on the floor with Rain, who was 9 or 10 at that time, and Rozzy, who was 4 or 5, crying in my lap. You know what I mean? And I'm prideful, man, and I'm very competitive. And I knew that, like I started to not like practice as much. I started to not like the bus trips, the plane trips, because I was missing my kids' stuff. You know what I mean? Playing the game, yeah. So I knew it was time to hang it up. And so when I came back home, shout out to my brother Ricardo Marsh. He was my college teammate. His wife and my wife both went to Old Dominion. They're both from Midlothian. So he had started a training company.
Okay.
So then called Ricardo Marsh Trainer. So when I came home, I was the lead basketball trainer there.
Okay.
Right. So for like 3 years, I could see everybody else, but they couldn't see me. I was in the gym. Ricardo was out building the brand. We started Team Marsh. We started teams. And so my wife, Rain, was playing rec. And she was like, man, why don't you just coach girls? Man, I never wanted to coach. And I definitely wasn't trying to coach girls, man. But I have 4 daughters. I have 3 sisters. My mother has 3 sisters, and my father has 4 sisters.
That's a lot of extra, bro.
yes. Man, that's been my whole life.
Wow.
And so then Ricardo was like, hey, man, why don't you coach, you got daughters, why don't you start a girls AAU team on the Team Marsh? And I'm like, man, I don't want to do this, man. And then they just kept talking me into it, so I decided to do it.
Okay.
And the thing that got me in the rec is Rain was playing for another coach, and the coach yelled out, "Stop being so aggressive." And I was like, "Oh no, we not gonna do that." Now what she was saying was, "Stop reaching," but that's not what she said. And you got to be mindful of what you say to kids.
Right.
You can't take their aggression away from them, man.
Right.
So I knew the guy that was the head director of Spring Run. I asked, could I coach? And I just so happened to meet him the first year I got home from France, because his daughter played soccer with my other daughter. I can't make this stuff up, man. Wow. So he said, okay, yes, you can do that. Ricardo taught me into coaching the girls team. I had a group of girls come out and start playing basketball. We were going down to Boo Williams to play. And I think the first tournament we played, we lost every game by 40 points. And I'm standing over there on the sideline looking at this like, what in the world? And the parents standing there looking at me. They ain't say this, but I kind of got the feeling, I thought you was a pro.
Yeah, that's what they do.
Right, yeah, yes. So that's when I kind of had a realization at the rec level and at this level. I had a meeting with the parents, and I'm like, look, I can't promise you we're going to win any games. But what I can promise you that if you stay right here, I'm going to teach them how to play basketball. And I'm going to take them through the same process that I went through from a kid that got cut to being ranked. And we're going to be serious about it. This is not an overnight thing. This is a marathon. And so that's how that got going, man. And then one day my wife comes home from school, comes home from a softball camp. So Rain was a softball player. She didn't only play basketball until her 9th grade year. She was an All-American in softball. My wife was a softball player.
Okay.
Her twin sister's softball player. Her father coached in this area for 25 years, God rest his soul, softball. So just as crazy as I am about basketball, she is about softball. Wow. And so, man, Rain was getting letters, man. She played center field. Nobody would throw her out. She was stealing bases. She could switch hit, slap, whatever you want to do, hit home runs on both sides. I thought that she was going to go do that. And then we get to Manchester, and she was like, Dad, I think I want to concentrate on basketball. She always played basketball.
Right, but
I wasn't like training her like you gotta. No, I don't really do that with any of my kids. I talk to them and teach them a lot about it here.
Right.
And then we go through the process. But, you know, if you're going to be good, you're going to have to do some of this on your own. It can't always be me.
Okay. No, that makes sense, though.
Yes. And so my wife came home one day from a camp at Manchester.
Okay.
And the assistant AD graduated with her from James River.
Man, y'all got a lot of coincidences, a lot of connections, man.
This is God, man. This is God. Wow. And so the assistant AD was like, hey, is your husband interested in coming over here and being the associate head coach? Because our associate head coach is moving to Chicago. The person who was moving to Chicago was the same guy who my daughter played soccer with his daughter and was the director of Spring Run Rec.
Yeah.
and so he was like, yes, y'all got to bring this guy on. So he brings me on, man, and I'm thinking in my head, I could be a glorified assistant coach,
right?
Help develop the kids, help teach them what the coach is trying to get them to understand. I think Rain was in 7th grade. Mm-hmm. I knew what was coming to Manchester, but even before then, I was training some girls that played at Cosby. Mm-hmm. They were the big dogs at the time, right?
Exactly.
So I had already been going to high school games, seeing how the coaches are using them. Because to me, ain't no point in training you to do something that you don't do in the game.
Right.
How does your coach use you? We're gonna build something around that. And so I kind of knew what it was, and that's when I started realizing that a lot of girls that were at Bailey Bridge were not coming to Manchester. They were going to Trinity. They were going to Cosby.
Yep.
Right? And I was like, why is that, right? So I get there.
See what I'm saying? Hold on. See what I'm saying? See how things happen? Go ahead, Coach. See, we just went through this Hayfield situation, and you see how people just move around.
Yes.
Winning causes that.
Yes.
Well, go ahead, Coach.
And culture.
Right.
And culture.
Right.
Yes. So I come on board. They hire me, and the coach at the time, once they bring me on, 3 days later, she's like, "Hey, I'm pregnant with my first child. Baby's due in December. Oh, wow. You're gonna have to hold this down." So I'm like, "Okay." Plot twist.
All right, now we got to.
Right. And I had never coached teenage girls. I had coached middle school and elementary. Teenage girls are a whole nother monster. But I do have a background in dealing with teenage girls because of my family.
Family, right.
So I end up coaching that year. We go 10-12. It was a great experience. We did make the playoffs. Mm-hmm. And then the next year was COVID. And the coach didn't come back. And so I had a meeting with the principal and the AD, and they asked me if I wanted to do this. And I was like, can I build a program? I don't want to just coach a team. I'm like that about everything I do. If I'm going to do it, let's really do it.
Right.
And so they build a program. So that COVID year, we were 3-10.
That's right. Yeah.
I mean, it was just a crazy year, man. And then the following year was Rain's freshman year. Mm-hmm. Mia Wolfalk transferred out.
So she started at Manchester.
She played at 8th grade JV.
And then she went to Trinity.
And then she went to Trinity.
Right.
I don't chase kids.
Okay, yeah.
I don't chase kids. I'm not begging nobody to come play for me. I'm not recruiting kids. Mm-hmm. I will tell you who I am and what I'm doing and what I think.
Right.
After that, you have to make a choice. Mm-hmm. I don't want you to be nowhere you don't want to be.
Right.
Right? Mm-hmm. So she went to Trinity. And Mia's gonna be a good player wherever she go. Yeah, man. Like, she's a monster. So that following year, so she ended up tearing her ACL, didn't play.
Wow.
And then that following year, her and her family reached back out and said they wanted to come back to Manchester. And I was like, sure, come on back. So that was Rain's freshman year.
Okay.
So really in my head that year, I thought we could win the state championship.
And this was 2022.
Yes.
Okay, right.
I thought we could win the state championship.
Right.
And I like the art of surprise. I don't like all the talking, man.
Okay.
I'm in the gym working.
Right.
Like, I'm not like, we really are preparing.
Right.
Really. And then we're going to throw the ball up and we're going to see. Win, lose, or draw.
Yeah, you ain't lying about that.
But we start the season 7-0. Mm-hmm. We had already lost one of our top guards who was a second-team All-Region player the year before. Her name is Ariana Payne. Tore her ACL in June. Lost her.
Wow.
We go 7-0, and in 1 week, man, Leah Hampton, who didn't play her freshman year because she tore her ACL coming into her freshman year.
Wow.
She starts feeling something funny in her foot. Foot fracture. Gone to the end of the season. Olivia Wright, who had just scored 20-some points against Clover Hill. We're walking through getting prepared for Cosby. She goes up, shoots a layup, come down, ACL gone.
Jesus.
We played Cosby, make it through that game. We were 7-0 now. Make it through that game. And then we go play in the Christmas tournament at Thomas Dale.
Oh, wow.
With no practices, right?
Wow.
We don't even know how to reconfigure this team now. We end up winning the first game, lose the second game to Massaponics. We're supposed to play James River, third place game. COVID run through the whole team, Coach there.
Dang.
We couldn't even play that game. We come back 2 snow days, so we couldn't supposed to play with or whatever. And when we get back, we play James River at James River, coming back from injury, sickness, no practice, and we get throttled at James River. And so we end up finishing that season 17-5, but it's not what we thought it was going to be.
Be right.
But what did I learn? We got to get these quads and hammies and glutes and core. Like, girls' bodies are different. Their hips turn in. So I started trying to figure out, why do they have so many ACL tears?
All the time.
So the following year, we did a lot of work in the preseason on preparing their bodies for what we're going to put them through. And so that would be 2 years ago. Okay. And I thought we had a chance to win the state championship. And I think that I'm going to take that loss and put it on me.
Man, yeah, that's totally, you're talking about your loss to Madison.
Yes.
Go through that, man, because I was talking to a guy, shout out to Julian Brown, Nova Legends. He covers the northern region, and he knows them very well. And he gave you guys a lot of credit. He was like, man, those girls can shoot. He said, I was surprised that they lost that game. But that game I did not go to, so I had to kind of live it through him. And kind of give us, your take on that, since, and that's big of you taking that on the chin for the team.
A couple things. First thing is, like I said, I'm new to girls basketball and coaching girls basketball. It's guys.
Right.
It's kill or be killed, man.
Right.
Like no mercy. But when you playing some of these girls teams and you're gonna win by 70 points and I ain't even trying, I'm trying to figure out, how do I coach this game and not score 200 points? Like you see what I'm saying? Like some of the teams that we play. So what I did that year was, when I knew we was gonna win by a large margin, I would switch the starting lineup up. Every 4 minutes I would sub. But man, that turned out being like 70% of our games. Right. So in retrospect, what I was actually doing was saying, you could pick and choose when you play hard or play 100%.
Okay.
But how many teams, we only had a handful of games where that was the case.
Right.
So when it came down to actually winning big time games, we were not prepared to do that. And then we lose to Thomas Dale in the regional championship game.
Championship, right. That was down at Norfolk.
Yeah, Norfolk.
Scope, which was crazy.
Well, and imagine, I played in that. That's
right,
before they had the Ted Constant Center, which they call the Chartway Arena at ODU right now. That opened my senior year.
Okay.
It was called the TED.
Okay,
we played Carolina my senior year in there. That's the first game there.
Wow.
But before then, we had a gym on campus called the Field House.
Yep.
And we played in the Scope.
So
to be back in the Scope, coaching my daughter, I mean, it was just, I can't make this up, man. So we lose to Thomas Dale.
It was a close game.
Yeah, close game. We make it back and we play Thomas Dale in the state semis. And I think we go into halftime down by 14.
Yes.
And I felt like we was playing scared.
Okay.
That's how I felt. You can winning and losing is just what comes with playing the game. But playing scared, so I try to be reserved. I try to be politically correct. I try to, go about things the right way. But that halftime speech was just authentically me. And I'll just leave it like that.
Wow. Because we had Nile and Savannah right here, and I asked him, I said, what happened? Like, y'all were up, and then they really couldn't answer. They were just like, man, they just came out. They were just, they just did it. But you tell your version, man.
Man, we didn't even warm up at halftime. When I came back out the locker room, my AD was standing right there in the hallway like, he looking at me. It's fire in my eyes at this point. We walking out. I really don't know what's about. I don't know. We about to lose by 30. I don't know what's about to happen. I don't know how they're going to respond to how I just talked to them. And so we go out there and I sit down. As I ball, we come in and Rain go, give me the ball. And I'm like, and she come, they're like in a 3-2 zone or something like that. And she comes down, she make a move, she go down the middle, she score. I'm like, all right. They come back down, Rain said, give me the ball. She come down, she drive in, I don't remember exactly how this played out, but she drive in, she pass it to Leah hit a 3. Rain come back and said, give me the ball. I've never seen her do this before.
Wow.
And she just basically said, come on. And it wasn't just scoring. It was passing to Mia. And that sparked the energy. Next thing you know, the team is rolling, and I'm watching this happen. And I started to see Thomas Dale play on their heels, and I'm like, uh-oh.
Yeah, y'all went like on a 44-10 run, second half or something like that?
We were down by 14 at half and won by 14.
Can't make this up, y'all, because I had the dads here. And it's funny because how that happened was the mom hit me up on TikTok, Savannah's mom. And she said, would you mind interviewing my girls? And I was like, who are your girls? I don't even know who you are.
Right.
And so I was like, I bet. So this gave me an opportunity to talk to them. And so the fact that you're basically echoing exactly what they're saying, because they gave you guys kudos, and it just, you just played them a week before. So again, that's why I said I wish I had the girls to kind of, what clicked?
Right. Man.
I mean, you go from playing a bigger gym or something, a bigger arena.
Yeah. It was the moment, man.
Okay.
It was the moment. Like, that's the thing I love about sports and basketball. Like, it's not scripted. You can prepare, you can want it to look like this, but then you actually have to play the game. And things happen. Like, these aren't robots. You miss shots, people have feelings, emotions, thought processes, and we were just determined to win, man. We were just determined to win. Wow. 10 seconds left in that game. Rain goes up to get a rebound. The game is won. They missed a shot. We were looking forward to do this, and she comes down on Tamaya's foot and turns her ankle severely.
Oh, wow.
I had to carry her off the court.
Yeah. I saw that a couple of weeks ago. You had to do the same thing in DC.
Again, same ankle.
Are you serious?
Same ankle, same thing, stepping on somebody's foot. Wow. So, to be honest with you, man, we didn't think Rain was going to play in the state championship game. Man, her ankle was like that. I'm talking, we went to X-ray, wasn't broke. We doing all of the compression stuff, the massages, the cryotherapy. The blessing was the game was 10 days away. That was the blessing.
Right.
So we spent all that time treatment, 2-3 days, and even like on that day, she was taped, braced with Advil, and she thugged it out, but really, if you go back and look at that game, she didn't drive to the basket.
Okay.
She wasn't in the passing lanes. And against a team like that, we needed that.
Yeah, you got to move.
Her healthy with how they played, they were going to have problems making passes, stopping her from getting to the lane. So I think she had 16 points, but or 18, she was just making her shots. The athletic player getting in there, finding people, we didn't have that.
Wow, because because I was talking to, going back to Julian Brown, he was saying that the coach, he kind of said it that in his words that she didn't think that they probably would have been in the game with you guys. So I guess they were just as surprised that they were able to be around.
So another thing that we like to do,
I didn't know this part.
There you go. So another thing we like to do is 1-3-1 and put Rain at the top. She couldn't move. So we back. I'm trying to protect her and play, you know what I mean? But shout out to Madison because very disciplined team.
Yeah, that's what,
We are going to control the ball. If we have to make 45 passes, every pass is going to be sharp. Man, and please put the shot clock in high school basketball, man. Man, come on. Come on. Come on, man. And just a side note, just playing in Europe for so long and coming to the States.
Right.
To me, that is the problem with basketball in the States. When our kids start young, every time they level up, the game changes.
Right.
So if you go from like I-9 to Y, rec, when you go from that to travel or to middle school, different rules. When you go from middle school to high school, different rules. High school to college, different rules. College to pro, different rules. The players in Europe, they playing the same game the whole time. And that is why when they get here 16, 17, 18 years old, they're pros. They might need to get stronger or whatever, but as far as like the IQ knowing where to be.
Right, they're so advanced.
Yeah, yes. We are way too caught up in holding trophies that are insignificant. We won a tournament, like, anyway, I don't get on
No. I love this. This is ball of the VA. You can do this here.
Right.
You can do this here.
Right. But that, to me, fundamentally, that is why the game, we're losing a lot of what we have. It's our game, man. Mm-hmm. Like, it's an international game now, but it's our game. And I think that we have prioritized money. Mm-hmm. We have prioritized winning. Mm-hmm. And we have forgotten the importance of like culture, chemistry, team, cohesion. Mm-hmm. That's what make people come cheer. I know these players. These players are from my area. These players represent my city. Once basketball starts becoming transactional like that, everybody's movement. I'm moving here for money. I'm moving here for money. They don't give me the most money. That's cool in the short term, but it's killing the game in the long term, man, in my opinion.
No, I totally agree with you, man. This is good stuff. This is the stuff that we need to hear. It's that's why I try to have lives and get these coaches in here, because we need to hear from your perspective. Mm-hmm. We can hear from guys like me, the enthusiasts, or the media guys that cover the game, right. But you guys really don't have a platform. Mm-hmm. So what I tried to do was give you guys a platform to make you comfortable enough to where we need to hear this. Right. Because, again, the people that are in control of the things, they're just going to do what they do. Yes. And, again, we definitely the shot clock. The shot clock thing is a must. Yes. I don't know. And I think it helps me understand where you play a lot of games. Mm-hmm. You go up north to play a lot of games. Yes. I've seen you play the Riverdale Baptists, the Paul the Sixth, the McNamara's. You've done this stuff. And I'm just like, man, this dude ain't playing, man. No.
Let's do it for real.
Right. And you're playing with a shot clock up there.
Yes.
And that's why I said, besides that, but the competition, it prepares your girls for when you guys are ready to play in the VHSL playoffs, man. Talk about some of the competition of the teams you played, because you played against the Maddie McDaniels, or, who else you played against? Riverdale Baptist. Let me go back to my notes here. Osborne Parks, Coach Kelly, she won a couple chips. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Madison, Coach, like I said, you just talked about that. Man, just kind of give us your perspective of the basketball up there versus it down here.
It's really not a thing of up there, down. I was trying to get Grace Christian here. Sarah Strong, my daughter played with Sarah Strong a couple years ago. So that's another thing. Like, Danny Strong is my guy. He played in France.
I was just about to say that. I found that out about a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, he played in France. He's my guy. He lives in Raleigh. We had a house in Raleigh for the first 7 years I played overseas. I was coming back to Raleigh every summer until Rain started school. Then we sold that house and we live exclusively in France.
Wow.
Her mom, Allison Feaster, works in the front office for the Celtics.
Yep.
Tony Dobbins, that played at the University of Richmond, was my teammate for 2 years. Him and his wife used to babysit Rain. That's family. Man. Al Horford's trainer played high school basketball with me, Daniel Towns. That's my guy. So this wasn't like I'm going to Lady Strong. This was family.
Right, that all the pieces are together, right.
Yes. So really, I'm just trying to figure out who are they saying is the best? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Mm-hmm. Who is the best? Do y'all want to play? And a lot of times people wouldn't play it just because who's Manchester?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Now we got a little more respect on our name.
Right.
Now we're at She Got Game. Now we're playing against Paul the Sixth. Now Boo was hey man, Boo, put us in the top bracket, man.
Right.
I got you. Let's go.
Last year y'all played Princess Anne. Y'all beat them. Y'all played McNamara. Y'all lost that game, but that hurt. It was a hell of a game.
If they don't foul Mia Wolfalk out, we got a chance.
Right.
And so like for me, it's not so much about the opponent, more so about what I want the girls to take away from this experience of me coaching them. Mm-hmm. As far as I know, we only live one time. Mm-hmm. Why would you not try to maximize that time? Why would you not try to see what the best version of yourself looks like, what the best opportunities look like? And it's gonna come with some sacrifice and pain and adversity, but from my own life experiences, if you're willing to stay the course, man, there's some cool stuff on the other side of that. Mm-hmm. You just gotta be willing to go through the pain, man. And so that's really what it is. And also to your point, what it does is when it comes time for us to play in the playoffs or play in the district,
right?
It's gonna be we're gonna have a different mindset going into those games.
Man, and again, You ain't playing, man, because like you said, I was fortunate enough to see you at She Got Game, and I was at the Capital Classic at Sitwell, man. I'm just going to go on record. I know this kind of on topic, but off topic. Y'all got robbed that Paula 6 game, man. If people don't believe it, y'all go to my live and see that Thursday. I understand. When Rain got hurt, the game changed. And honestly, I was right there, and I'm like, I saw her kind of throw the outlet pass, and I don't even remember. That was it, and I just went this way. And next thing I know, she was on the floor. I don't even remember what happened.
She jumped up to make the pass and landed on the girl's foot, same ankle.
And I was like, but I'm gonna tell you, that game, them referees, I just.
Well, I told
hate to say that, but
it was part of the scout. I told the girls, I said, we're coming up here where we aren't whoever, right? So
they're regulars there.
Yeah. So be prepared to not get calls. I told them that before the game. Let me deal with the referees, but be prepared. This is going to be a part of this game. But we're still up by 10 with a minute left in the game. So Madison fouls out. Yeah. Anybody who watched that game, we were the better team that game.
Yes.
However,
yes,
it also was, I'm a truth person. It also is the reality of our team.
Right.
We have a lot of freshmen on our team.
Right.
So we became really small, really young, really fast. So to my team's credit, to go into overtime and to lose by 3 points.
Right.
When really we could have got blown out in overtime.
And you're down 2 of your top players.
There we go.
One through injury, one through fouling out.
Yes. And nobody know who Nova Taylor is.
No.
She's a 6'2" young lady who's sitting on the bench every single time. She's a freshman. She tore her ACL in June. Hopefully we'll get her back coming into the playoffs.
Wow.
But we're down some talent that if we're healthy going into the playoffs, we'll be a good looking team.
Man, I mean, like I said, I was definitely impressed, man. And then I see you guys at the She Got Game, which everybody is there. I think that was a couple of days later. Like I said, man, y'all not playing, man. Y'all not playing. And then, just for people to know, next week, January 4th on the Saturday at Highland Springs, first showcase of the girls' talent, showcase of basketball teams from all over the state. You guys will be playing state champion of Visa, Bishop Ireton, coached by Keisha Walton. They got 3 Power 5, Power 4 players on there, man. You guys ain't playing. You guys ain't playing. Like you said, no, we'll welcome the challenge.
Yeah.
Man.
It's basketball. Anybody can lose.
Right.
And anybody can win.
But people are so caught up in winning championships nowadays, man, or just trying to win and make the record look good. You guys will just say, hey, we want to play. We want to put the competition out there. And I thank you for that, because that's what we kind of losing, of like people like, man, I'm going to private school to watch the games, or I'm going to go somewhere else to watch games. We starting to lose that. But you're like, no, put me on the schedule with them. I want to play them,
Well, one of the reasons why a lot of public schools don't want to play private schools too is because private schools will poach your kids.
Yeah,
I mean, right. that's one of the reasons. Like they play more games. They have a lot less red tape than public schools have, and so that is also a big reason why we have a program. Right. I'm not just showing up in November for tryouts. You know what I mean? Nothing is mandatory.
Right.
But we're on that track, and we're on them stairs, and we're in that weight room, and we're in that gym year round.
But you're not afraid though. You've been playing them.
Yes. I mean, it is what. And as a matter of fact, so after we lost the state championship game to Madison, the reason why I take that on the chin is because I feel like I didn't have my girls prepared because of how I was coaching that season. Okay. So last year before the season, I told my AD, I was like, get ready for some emails and phone calls. And he's like, why you say that? I said, because I'm going to press the gas and I ain't going to let my foot off the gas. Because also what happens is, and I don't know if a lot of people understand this, and I don't know how this changes or if it can be changed, when it comes down to giving girls awards, all region, all state, all metro, specifically all region and all state, the coaches are voting on a lot of kids that we've never seen play. We've never seen these kids play. So it's a big panel of coaches, and everybody comes on there and say, hey, I got this kid average this amount of points, this amount of points, this amount of points. I think they should be this because of this. And so we're voting off of that, right? So if we're beating 70, 75% of the teams that we play by 50 points. And they're running the shot clock in the second half of those. I mean, not the shot clock. They're running the clock in the second half. And I'm not playing my main players in the fourth quarter. Their 15-point average is a lot different than another kid's 15-point average. But when we go to the voting for all whatever, nobody takes that into account. So I'm like, we pressing the gas. From here on out, the score is going to be what the score is going to be. I'm not going to be disrespectful. I'm not going to be trapping you full court if you're a team. But I mean, the players got to get their number. You can't ask a kid to sacrifice, be disciplined, reach the highest level you can reach, but don't play as hard as you can in this game. Nah, I'm not doing that.
Man, do you know Coach Overton from Hayfield?
No.
It's funny because he said the exact same thing last year when he came in with Freedom, and he said the same thing when I go to the all-district meeting. Y'all gonna tell me I can't do this because now my players. He said the exact same thing.
Yes.
So you know that it's, man. This is beautiful. That's what I said, bruh. This is beautiful because again, you don't hear enough coaches say that. Some may afraid to say it. Some feel like but that's true.
Yes.
And like you said, then you got to go vote, and it's like, and then for us, the fans were like, why this such and such ain't be on there, or why such and such ain't be on there,
Yes.
Wow.
So you take somebody like Leah Hampton last year, who was our MVP in the state championship game. She can't even be nominated for All-State because she wasn't first team All-Region. Now, if you take Leah Hampton and put her on some of these other schools, how many points she's averaging? What are her numbers? You see what I'm saying? Like, it's just
that girl, that young lady.
Yes.
Big time talent.
Yes.
And just hearing, talking to some of my peers and seeing her hard work and how she came and shout out to Leah. I don't even know her at all, but just the shots, she hit some big shots, man. And she's one of the people that she ain't scared to take.
No.
It's like there's a shot that she don't like.
Right.
And I ain't talking about just the regular, regular jump shot. She taking she's deep.
Yes.
Shooting, and I was just like, man, that girl ain't scared. And just seeing her hard work, and I just feel like that we talk about Mia, we talk about Rain, but I don't think she gets enough credit for that championship run that y'all had, man.
For sure. I mean, she was lights out. And, man, like, a large percentage of these girls that I coach, I met them and their parents before I ever realized I was going to be their high school coach.
Wow.
So Leah was playing for me when she was in 6th grade. I met Finley when she was in 3rd. Madison when she was in 3rd, Tristan was in 4th. You see what I'm saying? So this is like, and because I have 4 daughters, so Rain is 17, Rozzy is 12, Rael is 9, Rev is 6.
Wow.
So as they play basketball, I'm keep being introduced to a community of girls and parents who want to move along with them, right? So it's bigger than me just coaching them. I actually want to see them be successful women.
Man, let me tell you, and you're doing that, man. And shout out to you and the hard work and you and your staff has been doing. Finley's another one, man.
Monster.
I'm going to tell you, she was one, like I said, I've heard about her in middle school and everything like that. Seeing her playing defense on Savannah in those 2 games and the big shots that she took, it was like she saw one go through and it was like, okay, I got this. And just seeing her confidence level and then transitioning to this year, and I know we kind of going back and forth in that PBI game where it's like, okay, well, there's no Maddie, there's no Rain. And then I heard Rain say, look, go get the ball.
Yes, yes.
You go get the ball, and she took it, Finley took it, and she came out hitting a couple of big shots, and I was like, okay. I said, okay, Finley. Man, talk about her progressions over the years. I mean, you're talking about somebody who's had to play behind some of your bigger talent.
Yep.
Talk about what she's done, man, and her progressions.
She is the epitome of trusting the process. I remember seeing her 3rd, 4th grade crying after games because she was so small and she couldn't pass the ball around the defender, right? Same thing in 6th grade, same thing in 9th grade. But this is a kid that gets to the gym early, stays late. You say, Finley, you need to get stronger. She in the weight room. Now I'm like, Finn, you can't lift that much during the season. Like, I mean, she really has Mamba mentality.
Okay.
And she is a competitor. Yeah. Like, she is a fierce competitor. When you look at her, she don't pass the eye test.
Yeah, she showed up. You're like, man, I got this.
But I told her at the beginning of this year, I said, ever since I've known you, you've played behind somebody. Not this year. The ball in your hands, mama. Go. Go show the world what you can do. And we call her Finn. I told her, I said, you know the part of a shark that they see first?
That fin.
Not even realizing what's up under the water.
Water, right. You don't even know if it's big or small, but
Yeah.
it's coming like this.
Yes.
Man.
But I think she's primed to have a hell of a year. She had a really good game against Southeast Raleigh. And to your point, Madison and Rain go down, and she should start taking and making big shots. But I know she's capable.
Yep. And again, I was like, wow, man. And like I tell people, I'm a podcast guy. I don't do the sideline or the post-game interviews just for me. I leave that to some of the other legends that has been doing it. But that would have been an opportunity to go talk to her, man, because just seeing her, I was like, man, like, this is just you with a bunch of young kids. And they're looking at you now.
Yes.
And you're playing against a 17-time state champion in PVI and a hostile environment. It's a hostile environment, but a different environment. Right. And she took it head on.
She ain't scared.
So no, man, that is good.
Yes.
But man, going back to last season, man, and it's like it's your first championship in school history. How did that make you feel, man, to be the first to do that?
Man, it still feels good. But I'm one of those people that, like, I probably get more enjoyment out of the process than actually completing it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's almost like we did it. This feels good. You know what I mean? I'm probably way more happy for the girls than for myself. And then it's like, okay, where's the next challenge?
Right.
Where's the next journey? Okay, you know what I mean? I just, that, like, building something is what makes me feel good. Creating, like, observing, like, the obstacles and playing chess and figuring out how to make this the best it can be. Like, that right there is really, like, what wakes me up in the morning. Mm-hmm. Whether it's from Manchester, whether it's running pro skills, whether it's being a trainer, whether it's being a dad, whether it's doing speaking engagements, like, it is, like, that is what wakes me up, the process.
Man, and that's what a lot of people talk about it, but they don't. They just say it. It just sounds good.
Right.
But you guys, you've been about that, man, and it's just good to see that you live and you can tell that. You can feel that passion and that energy that's coming through here that I feel personally. I was just like, man, because I don't know you, and I'm getting to know you here, and it's just like, no, man, this guy's about what he say do, because I hear a lot of things about you. But again, I never met you personally until, last week, and we were able to connect and stuff like that, man. I'm getting down to coming down to Rain, but I'm gonna say Rain for last.
Okay.
Talk about Mia Wolfalk, man. I had an opportunity to the last couple of years to follow Mia through Boo Williams, 17U, be able to see her at the practices and to the games. This year I went to travel around with them with Chicago and to all of the EYBL events. Man, ain't too many Mia Wolfalks out here, man.
No.
And me growing up, watching her dad play and stuff around here, and especially on the playground where the neighborhood where we're from, he used to come out there and play and cook out and everything like that. Talk about Mia, man, Big Mia. I know I can say it, but I just want to hear it from the coach, man.
Well, the first time I saw Mia was at a junior phenom camp. Shout out to Nick Bird. Nick Bird played at Norfolk State when I was at ODU.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
so ODU every summer pickup games were crazy. So we talking about Ace Custis, all like that generation of players coming through. We talking about Hampton, Virginia Wesleyan, Norfolk State. Anybody in the area in the summertime, you was at ODU playing pickup.
Right.
So Nick Bird used to come through there. So that's when I first met Nick Bird.
Okay, shout out to Nick, man.
And so that was Rain's first like elite camp that we put her in, and this was the summer going into her 6th grade year. And we had only been home like 2 years from France at that time. And so they put Rain on the team, and I see this huge girl, and I'm like, they got Rain on the team with high school kids? I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why they got them mixed up like that? And then they're like, nah, that girl in 7th grade. I was like, 7th grade? I'm talking about, she is a monster. I'm like, this is a 7th grader? And I told you, Rain was a softball player too.
Right.
I looked at my wife, I said, I don't know if Rain gonna make the middle school team if this is what it looked like.
Exactly.
So Rain ended up making the team. And so I got a chance to see Mia her 7th grade year and her 8th grade year. in middle school, not knowing that I was ever going to be her coach. Wow. And so then, like, I'm the coach at Manchester. She transfers out, and then she comes back. And I can remember a lot of people saying, man, you got to coach Mia Wolfalk. But they were saying it in a way like it was going to be difficult to coach her. But for me as a coach, I'm flexible. Now, I have standards, but I don't think I know everything. The more I learn, the more I realize I don't know anything. You see what I'm saying? So I always approach every situation like that. And in my opinion, when you're working with kids, you have to learn who they are first. You can't just come in here like, do what I say. It don't work like that. Who is this kid? Why are they here? What motivates them? How do they respond to certain things? So I had to kind of figure out Mia a little bit before I could challenge her. But then once I challenged her to be the best basketball player she could be. Man, we could have came down every time, threw the ball into her, and she could have averaged 30 points a game.
Automatic bucket.
Yes, we could have done that. But I knew that where she was going, that's not what's going to happen.
Right.
They're not going to. You're going to have to know how to play defense, where to be in transition, where your feet should be on defense, how to close out. You're going to have to be able to shoot the jump shot, play outside, pass, screen, roll, read the split action, opposite dive, lift. Like, you're going to have to be a cerebral player. And every year, not only did she take a step up in that, she took a step up in leadership. Because I challenged her to not just be a good basketball player, lead the team. And to her credit, her senior year, she was an awesome leader. She played within herself. She played with her team. And I mean, you could see the fear coming off girls.
You ain't lying.
You can see.
You ain't lying, man. Big Mia coming out there, man. I ain't gonna even lie. I remember one time, real quick. We was at St. James, and you said that I had to do that. I don't want you to lose your thought.
Right.
And Miss Nina, shout out to Miss Nina. Miss Nina said, hey, go tell the girls that we got to be down here like in about 5-10 minutes. And so it was me and Savannah, her dad, and her brother. We were sitting there eating at the table. She said, can you go tell Mia? You know, I was like, all right, cool. So Mia was over there sitting at the table. Mia just intimidated anyway, right? And I was like, man, I'm scared of Mia. Man. I said, I ain't messing with Big Mia, man. Big Mia just always serious, but she's a sweetheart.
No, she's a sweetheart. She's a sweetheart.
But when you see her, and so I said, hey, Mia. And Mia turned around like this. She was eating like a parfait or something like that. She turned around. I said, Miss Nina said, y'all be ready in 10 minutes. And she was just like, I said, no, go ahead, finish eating.
Right.
I said, but just y'all be ready in 10 minutes because they had a game to play. It was going to play takeover. It was crazy. And I was just like, I said, I ain't messing with Big Mia no more, man. Mia, man, she just can be intimidated, but she's a sweetheart. But go ahead back to your story.
No, she's a great person. Like the player that she is not the person that she is.
No, she's not.
No, she like to have fun, laugh, joke. But on the court, man, I remember I think we was playing Cosby last year or the year before, and she was coming down in transition, and a girl stepped over to take a charge. She didn't try to score. She just ran her right over. And I'm standing there like, because I don't want her to get in foul trouble.
Right.
I'm standing there looking like, Mia. She come down the court, she said, I bet she won't try to take another charge.
I bet she won't either.
And that is the mindset, the mentality that she brought with our team.
That's a dog.
A absolute dog. And her and Leah came home for Christmas, man, and worked out with us a little bit before they went back. So
that's dope. Yeah, because I know she was injured.
Yes.
I know she's at University of Georgia, and she had a monster first game.
Yeah.
Then I saw some setbacks, whatever. Then she came back and she played.
Yeah, she's played 3 games. I think she had 15. She had 13, 9. She's an impact player.
Right, and you would think she'd be playing softball because I was like, man, she probably gonna play softball too or whatever.
Yes.
But this girl, man, she's just. I'm gonna tell you one thing that I was impressed with Mia, and I want to say this. And like I said, I don't know her even personally either, but because I was more close with Savannah and Nala. When y'all played the first time. When y'all played Thomasdale the first time last year, she just dominated. I mean, okay, Mia get the ball, it's you ain't got a chance.
Right.
Okay? Just sorry.
Right.
And it's no knock on anybody else. That's just what it is. What I was impressed with in the state championship game, people thought the same thing was going to happen, but it was more of her leadership and encouraged the other teams, because again, not the teams, the other players on the team, and you guys went that way. And then it was like, okay, well, we got to stop Leah, we got to stop Finley, we got to stop Rain. Okay, now when they went to work, okay, now we going back to Mia.
Yes.
And it was like, well, damn, who the hell do you stop? And the thing that I was mostly impressed with, you did it with 6 players.
Yes. Yes.
6.
Yes. Yes.
I'm going to say that again. 6 players.
Yes.
And the one girl probably, your reserve probably only played, because Maddie ended up starting.
Yes.
Because KK got hurt.
Yep.
I like her too.
Dog.
Let me tell you something. You
Dog.
talking about a 3 and D
Yes,
player?
yes,
I love me some KK.
yes.
I don't know her either.
Yes, yes.
But she gonna hit a 3 and she gonna come back and play D. And I was
Yes.
just like, oh my God. Like,
Yes.
But again, girl come back, some of minute come back in. I was just like, man, you talking about a coaching job, man. I was like, this guy don't get enough credit for coaching for what he did.
Well, I'll say this. I learned that in Europe, man. Like, I was a big-time scorer, right? And when I first got to Europe, I'm trying to win the game by scoring.
Right.
47, 48, 45. Really, I want to win a championship.
Right.
But I keep falling short. And so, like, in 2007, 2008, I played for a team called Vichy, First Division France. In practice, we come down in transition. First practice, I just stop and I just let a bomb go. Whop. That's what I do. The coach blow the whistle. We ain't playing like that. We play defense. We play to the end of the shot clock, and we play defense. This game is going to be in the 50s. That's how we play.
And that's exactly how, yep.
But I went from averaging 18, 20 points a game. I averaged 7 points a game that season. Frustrated, didn't start, can't find my way because I'm a hands down. I can't play like that. My point guard at the time, shout out to Jamal Ball, played at Akron University, one of the best point guards I played with. He pulled me to the side and said, everybody on this team know you can lead us in scoring, but you ain't going to lead us in scoring. You're going to have to figure out how to get your shots within the system so it doesn't look like you're just chucking.
Right.
And so it took me a year to figure that out. The following year, I went to Poitiers, and we won a championship. And I learned how to sacrifice my game to help my teammates. And my stats dropped, but we won. And so that is what I instill in these kids, because in Europe, all 5 people on the floor can shoot.
This is going to be a clip, Tim.
All 5 people on the floor can shoot. So 1 through 5. So that's how I'm playing. The teams that we have, all 5 people on that team can shoot. And we are working every day. Of course, you're going to have your players who have more responsibility.
Right.
But I don't want nobody on the court that can't contribute.
That's right.
Because now you can just double up on players. So now we are going to beat you. I know you got, because I firmly believe that if you have 1 or 2 players that average all your points, I can take them out the game.
Right.
I can take them out the game.
And we've seen this early on, especially around here in the late 90s, early 2000s, when 757 was winning all those championships, because they figured that out.
Yes.
And we didn't start winning until we started being more team.
And that's why I call this life school. You can't do nothing by yourself. It just doesn't happen. I didn't make this shirt. You didn't make, you see what I'm saying? Like everything that's around us, somebody else had a hand in it to the smallest nuances of things. So when it comes to a team, everybody has to star in their role, and they have to see value in their role, and their teammates have to see value in their role, even if you're just the person that set the screens. I'm a shooter. My bigs who set screens for me, I love them.
Right, exactly.
The offensive lineman in football don't get a lot of love, but that quarterback is saying thank you.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying?
That's right.
So it's about getting everybody to buy into that. And then that's why I feel like we can beat anybody.
Yep.
Yep.
Man, I've learned so much about you today, man. Like I said, and I know we don't have that much time left, but this is an awesome interview so far, man. Like this, I've learned so much just by listening to you talk, and just your experience from this, which we don't normally get. We get it from a player perspective, but not mostly from a coaching perspective. And man, this is beautiful, man. Oh wow! So this kind of leads me into your daughter, to Rain.
Yes.
Man, just watching her maturation as a player, man. Again. I know you're proud of her, man. I think what I saw from her last year was just like, I said, man, that girl, I think I was more impressed with her defense. Because I saw her, and I'll tell you when it clicked for me. I was at the Manchester game, when y'all played James River the first game, and Lane dropped 44. And I was like, Jesus Christ. Like, they left Finley. I feel like y'all left Finley out there. But it was like, hey, we gonna need you. They said about now, December. It's about later on, which I saw the difference of when, and go back to what I told you, how she got to Savannah, who's another elite scorer. May not be to what Laney is, but to an elite scorer. And I was like, God damn, I was like, she cooking. The next time y'all played them, when I came to the game at Manchester, excuse my French, but Rain locked her ass up. And I was like, God damn, I said, man, this girl can score. She can move it off the ball, but I'm more impressed with her defense. Man, again, for only started playing basketball in ninth grade, man.
Well, that's what she committed to.
That's what she committed to. So at that point, like, kind of give us the process of her maturation from that point.
Like, once again, first of all, I've taught all my daughters how to hold a follow through up before they said mama, daddy, or walk. Yeah. And that's a true story. But I'm teaching life principles. What they're going to do in sport, I don't really know. You know what I mean? But I'm trying to get them to understand that if you're going to do something, give it your all, learn everything you can about it, and just go through the process. That particular last year, we beat James River the year before 3 times with Finley, Garden, Laney.
Okay, and see,
Laney's a big time player,
right? And I'm glad you said, because like I said, I wasn't at the game. I think I went to the Bird game, but not to the James Rivers game.
Yeah, but she's a big time player. Like, I knew what she brings to the table, but I felt like we could beat James River without, regardless if she go for 30. We just gonna shut everybody else down, right?
Right.
And Rain has the tendency to get in foul trouble. And so does Mia Wolfalk. So that is why
the aggressive.
Thank you.
And that game, the James River game,
yes,
those calls that Mia got.
No, okay, that's another thing.
Don't even get me started on that.
So now I was this close to getting thrown out that game at the end, man. Because like, come on, man. Listen, I don't think we played well enough to win the game, but I also feel like the referees manipulated the game.
Yes. Yes.
Laney shot 20-something free throws in that game. God. Mia Wolfalk shot 0. Okay, so like, but this is not. And let me just say this too to anybody who may watch this. I am extremely competitive.
Yes.
Unless you really know me, you don't really understand the depths of that.
Okay.
But when I'm not competing, I'm off that.
Right.
Like I'm not walking around with that energy.
No,
you know what I mean?
You don't.
This isn't to rub anybody the wrong way or anything like that.
We're just talking basketball.
We're talking basketball, and that's what happened in that game. Now, the practice that we had after that, we had a come to Jesus meeting.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure you did.
We had a come to Jesus meeting because I don't know what we thought, that we just gonna show up, we Manchester, we win games. That's not how it works. However, the next time we played James River, I come to pregame meal, and Rain walks up to me and she say, "Here, Dad," and she hands me a folded up piece of paper, and I'm like, all right. So I take the piece of paper, I unfold it, and shout out to Laney and her mom and her dad. This is not, it's just what it is.
Right. No shade to Brent at all.
No shade. She's having a phenomenal freshman year at Carolina. No shade.
I'm doing well.
But Laney's name was on the top of that paper. And all her strengths and weaknesses were written on that paper. And I looked at this the first time she's ever done this. I didn't ask her to do this. If you'd have bet me money before that, if Rain would do that, I would say no. And I'm looking at the paper and I'm like, I said, all right. And you saw the game. She was in a different mental space in that game.
Yes.
Right? And so like that and before that game too, it wasn't just for that game. Before that game, I called Mia and Rain. And I was like, man, y'all want to win the state championship? They're like, yes. I was like, okay, how are we gonna get there? They start saying all these things that the players say to the coach that they think the coach want to hear. And I said, no, y'all can't foul out of games. If Rain and Mia with a foul out, we lose.
You lose, right? Because Mia fouled out of that game, that first game. I was like, man, Oh my God.
So be disciplined and play smart.
Right.
That was another big thing that both of them did. They were not in foul trouble no more the rest of the season.
Especially at the end of the season. You saw that those last 2 games, especially that I went to, I was like, oh my God. I was like, you could tell Mia's patience.
Yep.
She was very smart.
Yes.
And yeah, but go ahead, Coach.
So that game, the second game against Jamesboro, we had that circle. Don't get me wrong, because we felt like it's competition, it's rivalry, it's what sports is about.
Right.
But Rain, she saw me play. I used to, we win games. I go grab her out the stands when we're in France and walk around. She's been inside of basketball her whole life. Mm-hmm. So she sees the game like a coach. Mm-hmm. She plays the game like a coach. I wouldn't call her a shooter, but she can hit threes. Mm-hmm. She likes to slash. She loves to play defense.
She's an athlete, man.
She's an athlete. She loves to pass. She really enjoys playing with her teammates.
She plays within the system. It's not like she's a ball-dominant player.
Right.
That's why I said, and it's crazy, and I'll just say this to you. One of my coaches that coached at Virginia Tech, I talked to on the phone last year, and he was at the Boo Williams tournament, mm-hmm. and he called me. He said, Lee, he said, man, who is this girl from Manchester? And I said, what's her number? He said, 30. I said, that's Rain Wright. He said, man, I like her. Mm-hmm. And he said, who she played with? I said, man, you ain't gonna be able to get her.
Right.
I said, yeah, you ain't gonna be able to get her. But he was there. He was very impressed, man. And we was talking, this was last year around this time. And I was just like, wow. It was just like, but he was talking from an AAU perspective, not from a college perspective.
Right.
Let me clear that up.
Yeah. But she's a winner. Like, she's won ever since she ran track. She played softball. She played basketball. Her trophies, like, she's a winner. And so even like in the recruiting process, mm-hmm. like one of the things I tried, like, man, I'm not caught up on Power 5 and like, it's the fit. Mm-hmm. It is the fit.
And congratulations on your decisions.
Thank you, man.
We'll go into that,
because in a lot of schools that were recruiting her, some of the questions were like, well, what is she? Is she a point guard? Is she a shooting guard? That language right there, I'm going the other way. I'm going the other way. She's a basketball player.
Right.
She needs to be in a system where she can make plays. Mm-hmm. Yes, she can shoot. Yes, she can drive. Yes, she can pass. Yes, she plays defense.
Swiss Army knife.
Yes, she is. Who is going to put her in that position? And shout out to Coach Roussel over at Richmond. He's the first college coach that walked in 3 years ago to our games and understood exactly what we were doing on offense and defense and communicated it. At that time, he was trying to get Mia. Mm-hmm. But he's a smart coach. Mm-hmm. They have an open floor concept system just like us. They shoot the three. They move the basketball. They move without the basketball. The A-10 is a very good conference.
Yes.
And it's a place where Rain can continue to develop because, like I said, she didn't commit to basketball until 9th grade. So I think if she continues to work, what her sophomore and junior years look like in college, she could be at a whole nother place.
And I'm going to tell you, man, and I 1,000% agree with you because when I watch her, I remember a player that played at Monacan that went there, Michaela Parsons. Mm-hmm. That's who she reminded me of. Okay. But Michaela kind of did the same thing. She played one, played two, she made plays, mm-hmm. and she went on and had a 4-year great career at University of Richmond. So when I saw that you guys committed there, I was like, wow. I said, and immediately it said ding, 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 ding. And I was like, Michaela Parsons.
Yes.
And that's exactly who she reminded me of when she plays because she's the same type of player. Mm-hmm. And I just want to congratulate you guys on that decision, man. And when I saw her playing this summer, going back to Chicago with Durant, how was that experience here? Because I saw the compliments that Coach Dudley gave her mm-hmm. and Coach Scott Avery over there at Cosby, who I talked to, mm-hmm. they loved her, man.
Avery was a big reason why we decided to go.
Really? Okay.
Yes, I got a lot of love for Avery.
Man, shout out to Avery, man.
Yes, good guy. I'm glad he got the job over there.
Yes.
And trying to turn that program around. But we kind of got stuck in like a weird position because if you go all the way back to when I first started coaching girls on the Team Marsh and then they turned into Pro Skills, mm-hmm. when all those girls were 6th graders, Rain was in 5th grade. Mm-hmm. So she didn't play up because I wanted her to play up. It just was just a group of girls. Mm-hmm. So as everybody matured and maturated, they played under me her 9th grade year. So everybody else is 16U year.
Okay.
And then we had one of the mainstays on the team that decided not to play at the last minute. And so we didn't have a team that was good enough for Leah and Danny and Lily and Rain, and they all were getting college attention. So Leah, Danny, and Lily, I called the Edmonds. Got a lot of respect for that for that couple, and they went over there and played with Havoc. I found a home for them, and that's when Rain went to Lady Strong.
Okay.
So then we found ourselves last summer with no team. In my program, I didn't have a team at the level where she could play, and then I don't really like showcase basketball. It's no knock to anything, but I teach basketball in a way that prepares the kids for the next level.
Okay.
And nobody's just going to be running up and down the court doing one-on-one moves. Like, that's not what's going to happen. And that's not what Durant was.
Right.
But I think it was a new group of girls, a new setting, a new feels, a lot of unfamiliarity. So the thing that I liked about it was that she had to face a lot of adversity. A lot of things come easy for Rain. And she was now in a position where a lot of things weren't coming easy. So I think she had to look in the mirror a lot. I think she had to dig down deep a lot. She had some good moments, but I think she did a lot more learning about herself.
You could tell.
Yes,
You could tell.
yes. And I think that helped her make her decision on where she wanted to go play school ball. But shout out to Coach Dudley, man. She was phenomenal. And Cortez over there, they were phenomenal. They gave her a chance.
Yep,
they
she
spoke
played.
life into her. I mean, Rain has got an opportunity to play with some really good players.
She sure was. I was like, I stayed and watched that night. I think it was the last night was in Chicago. The day before, it was that Saturday.
Right.
And y'all was playing Special K, the girl from
Yes,
California. Team
yes,
Tarasi. I was
yes.
like, that was a great game, by the way, man. I was
Gigi
like,
had a
wow.
phenomenal game in that
Gigi,
game,
yep.
too. So to be able to play with Gigi and against Special K, you play with Sarah, you play with Mia,
Yep.
like, this process doesn't stop in high school.
Right.
Right. And that's one of the things that, like, I try to get the girls to understand. Or that's where I'm coaching and teaching from. I got better in college. I got better as a pro. As a coach, I'm still trying to get better. Right. Every day, how do I get better? So it's about finding the right fit. And we're a very close-knit family, man. And so, like, I didn't really think about, like, where she would be. But then when she made the decision to go to Richmond, I'm like, she's right down the street.
Great.
She can still come here. She got 3 younger sisters that we can go see her game. So it was just a great fit all around.
Man, and that's dope. And see, a lot of people, I'm glad people are going to play this back, because I know I'm going to get a lot of calls from people that regularly call me, and I love this. This is going to be a great conversation. Again, to Rain and to your family, man, shout out to the whole Wright family, because, again, I've just only followed you guys a couple of years, man. But this summer when I saw her on that circuit with those girls, I was like, wow. I was like, and she out there just playing her role,
Yes.
doing what she do. But again, and I can see those girls appreciating her. You know what I'm saying? Especially because they got the bigger names, and the
Right.
bigger following, stuff like that. But she showed that she could play on that level.
Right.
But before I get to go to because I want to make sure before we get up out of here, go to your pro skills. I want you to talk about your program. I forgot one young lady that I forgot that I saw, Madison Smith, man. You got to give me the 411 on her, man. Just
I've said this before. I think she's the most underrated player in the state.
you don't hear nobody talk about her.
Man, I don't really want to go into this, man.
I
But
mean,
like,
I know we got all day to see it.
but I have learned that a lot of rankings and things of that sort, there is a path to get some of that.
Yeah.
That I'm just not going to line up for. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, now, you do have to get exposed. You do got to get your name out of there. I'm on the phone. The good thing about playing overseas is that I can't tell you how many coaches are college coaches now that I played against. Or I played with. The basketball community is a very small niche of people. Whether you're playing at the NBA, overseas, you're coaching in the NBA, you're coaching in college, high school, it's a very small. Everybody is, if in the world we got 6 degrees of separation, in the basketball world it's 3, right? It's very close. So getting girls looks is not the thing, but sometimes I think kids get caught up in who other people saying they are instead of getting caught up in improving who they are. And so Madison's going to get her just due. She's just a sophomore, but I'm still trying to figure out what she is.
Yeah.
Because she's a lot like my daughter And the fact that, man, it's nothing that she can't do on the court.
She does everything.
Yes.
I watched her play in Chicago as well, and I talked to her AAU coach. Coach Kevin would take over. Oh my God. Yeah, shout out to Coach Kevin, by the way, man. That young lady, man, I was like, she's just like all the way around, man.
Right. So right now we're in the process of increasing her ball handling ability, increasing her shot making ability.
Yes, like she's still raw.
Yes, increasing her IQ. She's another one. You ain't got to try to block everything.
No.
Stay on the
Right,
court.
stay on the floor,
Stay disciplined.
You'll win a lot more games, man, if you stop getting in foul trouble.
But she's
too important.
Yes, she's definitely a Division I player.
Oh, absolutely.
And the sky's the limit. So we're excited. She's another kid I met when she was in third grade. She was playing on that same little team with Leah Hampton and something. She was the third grader or the fourth grader or the sixth grade team coming up playing with us with the Team March team. So.
Wow.
She's almost like another one of my daughters, man. Like she rides with rain in the morning at school. She comes over there. All my little daughters love Maddie. They love when she's over the house. So, man, like, to be honest with you, man, like I really have been blessed to be in a position where God has been like, man, be a good steward over these young ladies. And I just try to get it right. And I'm lucky to be able to use basketball to do it. But any of these young ladies or parents who entrust them into my tutelage, they're just like my daughters, man. I'm on the phone with their parents. How can I help them? How can I figure this out? Because I do believe it takes a village.
Yeah.
But Madison Smith is a very special kid, and we've only seen a snippet of what she's going to be.
I'm telling y'all right now, if y'all haven't seen Madison Smith play, y'all need to get out to Manchester, man. And if y'all good opportunity for y'all people that live on the other side of the water, don't want to come over there, come to Highland Springs next week, 5 o'clock, watch that Bishop Barrage again.
Yes.
You'll see what we're talking about.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
So that's another plug. Shout out to her and Lee and everybody over there at Highland Springs. I think I left out your staff, man.
Yes.
You know, before we go, because I want to get to your program, man, but your staff, man, I know they're just as important.
Yes.
Talk about your staff, man, that continue to help you build this program up, man. Today, the ones this year and the ones you had last year.
Couldn't do it without them. Like I said, like I love basketball. I know a lot about basketball. I'm getting better at coaching every single day, but I am not a young lady. Right. And there are some areas and some things that happen sometimes where I need them. But they keep me regulated, man. Like when I'm in that competitive space, they keep me regulated. So like Devin Shea, that's my first assistant. Okay. She helped me build pro skills as well. Man, her husband just happened to work with my wife.
Oh, wow.
And they moved in from PA.
Okay.
And she came to visit him one day before were all the way here. And she's 6'1", and she's talking about basketball. And my wife overheard the conversation. She was like, I think you need to talk to my husband. So we set up a meeting, and I saw her background, and she's like, yeah, I'm coming. So I was blessed with, she played I won't get this wrong, but she played Division III ball at Ithaca College.
Okay.
But she also was a D3 coach for 7 years, and she coached at Elmira College.
Oh, wow.
So she comes in with a ton of experience and know-how. Shaylin Washington, shout out to Shaylin Washington. She played at Manchester for a little bit and then played at Highland Springs, went over to Virginia State. And then she came and helped us out, man. She worked more with JV, but all the JV coaches sit on the bench. So she brings a ton of experience. Coach Basso, Vonda Basso, she is my JV head coach. Man, she was a federal agent, an FBI agent in New York for 25 years.
Say what?
An FBI agent in New York for 25 years. So that already lets you know a lot about her. What you see is not what you get. Like she gives me, I talk to her almost every day. She brings big picture perspective.
Okay.
A lot of times I could be like this and she could be like, Coach,
you need that.
You know what I mean?
You need that OG.
Yes,
you need that OG in the house.
Yes. Shout out to Nia Covington. She only coached with me 1 year last year. But when I got home, she was one of the players. She was the player at Cosby I was training.
Wow.
So I helped her develop as a player, know her family very well. As a matter of fact, her senior year, she lost in the state championship game to Woodbridge, and Tamika Dudley was the coach.
She was the coach.
Yes. So she went on to College of Charleston and played.
Okay.
And now she's in medical school. So when she was in that transitional period, she came over. Last year was assistant coach and breathed life into our girls and helped us win that state championship, man. So that's another one of our assistants. So she's at Drexel right now in medical school.
Okay, shout out to her.
And then Kayla Henderson, she came on board this year, and you were just telling me that you have a relationship with her family for many of years. And she's an awesome new addition. Great basketball mind, played at Paul VI, played at Shawan, came back, coached at Paul VI, moved back down here. We hired her to help out with our pro skills kids. And then my wife went to a practice and kind of heard her speaking and everything, and she was like, I think this is a special person right here. And so we're able to get her into Manchester, and now she's on the coaching staff, and somebody that's going to pay dividends will help me teach these girls who has done it, right? So that's I try to hire people and put people around the kids who have done what they're trying to do.
And she loves it, man. She loves it. I talked to her last week, and she just said, when she first happened, and her mom told me, she said, I said, yeah. I said, I know of the program and know people over there. And we thought at the time it was a good fit. I was like, no, she's going to learn something over there. And she said that she was going to be working with the pro skills and everything, which I thought was a great opportunity. Shout out to Kayla, man. She's I saw that girl playing ball ever since her daddy had her, just coming up there, man, when she went to North Stafford and then transferred to PBI. So she knows it, man. So, and I just had to send a shout out to her because just my relationship with her and having her sister here on the wall, man, rest in peace. Yeah. That girl right there, man. Oh, man, just beautiful soul, man, So, but let's go on to pro skills, man. I know we spent a lot, man. This was an excellent interview so far, man.
Thank you.
When made you start that program? I mean, you talked a little bit more about it, but what was the kind of?
It's another one of those things, man. Like I said, when I first got out here, I didn't really want to coach. I just wanted to develop and train. And then me and Ricardo started Team Marsh. And then I got out into the AAU world, travel basketball world, man. And to be honest with you, I saw a lot of toxicity, man, a lot of toxic behavior. And I just felt like, what are we doing? To me, as a youth basketball coach and the coaches that I had, the job is to improve these young people using the game.
Yes.
Some of them will go on to play at a higher level, but we know the majority of them are not. Right. So what are they getting out of this, right? And so I'm just being honest. I see parents getting ready to fight, people cussing each other out, meet me in the parking lot, and I'm standing. I'm just like, I'm not competing. Like this is not what I want to do. I'm trying to help these kids. Like I don't play basketball no more. Like I had my time in the sun. And so Ricardo was getting ready to transition to go over to Virginia State. Right. And the guys so Pro Skills actually started in Charlotte, North Carolina in 2009. The guys that started it played at Davidson. I played against them in France. Wow. So there goes the connection. The CEOs of the company, I played against them. And so very similar. They came home from playing, kind of got out into the travel basketball space, and they were like, hey, we can do this in a more professional manner. So we're not just a travel team, we're a basketball club. And we go throughout the years, throughout the whole year. And so it is a comprehensive development program. And so I'm the person who's willing to take on the kids that are in that space between rec and elite. Right? Everybody will raise their hand and say, let me coach the best players.
Yeah, that's easy.
Right?
That's easy.
Right? I'm willing, because that's the process I went through. Right. The first team that I coached, we got beat by 40 the first tournament every game. Right? What does that mean? It's time for everybody to leave because we lost?
Yep. Yeah, don't nobody want
to do it. When you lose, to me, it's a mirror. Right. It's a blatant observation of where your strengths and weaknesses are. Okay, now let's go back to practice. And let's practice on our weaknesses. And this goes through, I don't care, like, this is number one sixth grader in the country. Like this, we the only country to do that, man. I
can't stand that, man.
I'm like, what does that even mean? You know these kids are gonna stop growing, keep growing.
Thank you.
Thank you. Most kids who are elite, that's another word I hate. Most kids who are elite at a young age,
so much.
They're either bigger, stronger, faster at a younger age. and you have that advantage. Once you get about 15, 16 years old, that's when it starts leveling up.
Right.
And I can Dame Lillard, Kawhi Leonard, Kawhi Leonard, Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen. You can go. The list goes on of players who were late bloomers. The majority, Steph Curry.
Right.
You can keep going.
Yeah, right.
These are late bloomers. When you started, it starts coming into clarity 16, 17, 18, and then you get to college and it keeps doing that.
Yep.
A lot of times the kids who are better, younger aren't better older.
I tell people all the time, that's why I don't go to the games. I just don't.
Right.
I have no interest.
Right.
Because again, like you said, when they're gonna level off, and then what?
Yes.
Then we're gonna really see what's
there you
going
go.
on. But
there
go
you
back
go.
to what you were saying.
So then, if you look at the European model, they play in clubs. They don't have middle school, high school, travel basketball, college. They don't have that. If you want to play a sport, any sport, you have to be in a club, and then you go through a process of a lot of practice, and then you play one game in a week, one game. And so you're doing way more practice in 10 months out the year than you are playing games, right?
Right.
And so once again, that is why you get Victor Wembanyama, Luka Doncic, Jokic, these players that come here and they're ready to play basketball because the emphasis has been put on practice and not whether or not you win or lose the game. So that we model that same thing, right? And the thing that ends up happening to me is we will take, in a perfect world, kids come in about 4th grade, and we take them on through the process. But what happens sometimes is they'll come in about 4th grade, and by the time they get about 8th grade, and now we're competitive and winning some games, here come other programs, and you're a great player. And then they get what they were actually looking for. And so that's what I ask parents a lot, like, what do you want? Are you in this for this? Are you in here for the life principles you can get out of this? Or are you in this because you want somebody to say your kid's name on social media? You see what I'm saying? A lot of times people are in this to feel good and not really go through the actual process that comes with tears, pain,
all that,
confidence, having to so for me, it's the process that I went through. That I don't want to rob the kids of that process. Anybody, if you become really good in your profession, you went through adversity, you went through self-doubt, you made mistakes, you failed, you had to figure it out, you had to pick yourself back up until you got to the point where you're like, I figured this out. That's the process. So that's what we are as a program, man. And I started, quick story, I started this program in 2019.
Wow.
So 2019.
That's recent.
Yes. This is the same time with Manchester. This is year 6 for me, Pro Skills, year 6 Manchester. So I'm doing all of the clinics, free clinics, just getting people to know that, hey, this is Pro Skills it's completely different than anything else that's happening. This is the why. This is who I am. And I had a projection to start 5 teams. We start 9 teams.
Okay.
And we have 1 week of practice, all the teams. I'm excited. We don't have volunteer coaches. All of our coaches are background check, onboarded, CPR certified. And I'm also the national coaching advisor. So we have monthly meetings about what practice should look like, what game strategy should look like, all of that good stuff, because I also want to help develop other people. And so we have 1 week of practice, and then COVID happens. Now, let me explain to people what retirement means. Like when people say, you retired basketball player. What that means is you ain't getting paid no more. That's what retirement means. It means you're not getting paid no more.
Say it one more time for the people in the back, because they might not have heard that.
Yeah. Retirement means you're not getting paid no more. So I invested a lot of money and time on the next phase of my life.
Right.
Man, I don't go to sleep at night. I fall asleep. I am working around the clock on all of these things. Wow. I'm not making no money being a high school coach.
Big difference.
I do that because I love it. I want to help these kids, right? So COVID happens. Everybody, is in their house. And I remember, man, being in my backyard cutting down trees, right? I ain't never cut down no tree before. I ain't talking about no big tree. I'm just talking about branches,
right.
And, because what else we supposed to do? What is COVID? Why are we in the house? What is going on? And I remember looking up in the sky being like, man, God, really? Like, I worked my tail to do this, and now a pandemic, and I'm really kind of questioning God, to be honest. Man, and I heard this, but I didn't hear it. Shut up and get back to work. Man, I almost got weak in my knees, no lie. And I'm like, I understood. And so I just started focusing on what I can control and not what I can't control. And because I did that, when we came back out of COVID, I was ready to roll. I wasn't picking up the pieces then. I had done all this work while we were out, and now everything was set up, and we was ready to rock and roll while a lot of people were still trying to figure out what to do next. And so now, same thing. We do camps, we do clinics, we do teams, tournaments, and all that. I run 3 tournaments. We have fall league, we do a winter league, and we just real big about the culture, man. Like, and I don't do crazy, man. Like, everything is like, you know, I'm not perfect either. So if you don't like something the coach did or I did, we can have a conversation about it. But be respectful of each other. And the main thing is the main thing, which is these kids, man. So that's what my program is all about. And now Pro Skills is in 32 cities.
Why? Are you serious?
It's in 32 cities, man. And I'll be managing several other cities this year under this umbrella, man. And so we're connected with Junior NBA and Under Armour and Positive Coaching Alliance. And our goal, the mission of the company is to change the culture of youth basketball.
Man, that is big time, bro. Wow. And all in year 6.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Where can people find? Can you give like your shout out your website and
Yes.
make sure where we can find you?
ProSkillsBasketball.com/Richmond. That's a way to get there. Or you can type in Pro Skills Richmond on IG, Twitter, Facebook. My handle myself is Raw Eternal. That's my initials. That's all of my girls and my wife's initials.
Wow.
But Raw Eternal, just type in Rasheed Wright. But we're on all social media platforms. We try to do a good job. And even our Manchester page, MHS Lady Lancers, we try to do a good job. Shout out to my wife. She handles a lot of the Manchester social media stuff.
Okay.
And we try to keep putting content out there so people really can know what we got going on and how they can be a part of it if they want to be.
Okay, well, we're going to flash that out here. I want to make sure that they get done on here. So this when we start talking about them, I have that flash up, all the information
Yes.
there so people can get in touch with you.
Yes, for sure.
Well, man.
Thank you.
No, man, this was really good, man. I learned so much more than I thought. I didn't think it was going to last that long. I
Right.
thought it was going to be here probably about 45 minutes,
Right.
maybe an hour.
Right.
But, man, I honestly don't even want you to leave, man. But I know we got to wrap this up, man, because we've already over our time, man. But, Tim, you know I got you, bro. So I just want to let you know that. But, man, I've learned so much today, man. Thank you, man. I want to say thank you.
Yeah.
And I appreciate your words that you gave me last week, man, that we talked, man. We don't have to put that out there, but I really appreciate it, man. It really made the rest of my day because I really wasn't expecting that. But again, man, I appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, thank you,
And
man.
I really thank you for willing to come on here and share your story with me and so many other people because I know I have a lot of people, and like I said, I know my main 2 listeners that listen all the time is John Marshall's main assistant coach, Coach Blackwell. He all called me every time a podcast come on. He called me, hey man, and Kennard White, over there, assistant basketball coach at Verona, and he always speaks highly of you as well, as to let you know that because we have our conversations, man. But I wanted to say thank you, man. Again, I can't thank you enough. Just keep doing what you're doing, man.
Appreciate it.
And for me, it helps me out because I'm out here in Chesterfield. And even though I'm from the Highland Park, East End town, I always, hey, man, Chesterfield, man. Chesterfield. I said,
Right.
Go check out my people, man.
Right.
And I just appreciate what you're doing for the game and your program in Manchester, man, because it means a lot. And just keep doing what you're doing, man.
Thank you, man.
What you're doing.
And if I can add one more thing.
Sure.
And this is just to whoever watches this. And born in Richmond, I didn't grow up here, but one of the things that I feel like I noticed when I got back to this area is how segregated it is. Like, so my homeboy that went to college with me owns a barbershop right across the street from Highland Springs.
Okay.
Right? And I remember the first time I told somebody I was going over there to get my hair cut, they was like, you going all the way over there? I'm like, man, it's 20 minutes. Like,
Right. Go Carl.
so everybody kind of stays in their bubble in the greater Richmond area.
Right.
And I don't know if this means anything to anybody, but we all could do so much more if we did it together.
Right. It does. Man.
Everybody wins. Like, everybody wins if we can all figure out a way to do this together. And I'm talking about so many things when I say that, but if we could try to
people stays in a particular area.
Yes.
And they be like, man, you be everywhere. I said, because, man, that's just how I was even a kid. I used to ride bikes.
Right.
And even though we're like, you know what, I'm central here, we riding over there to Henderson, to John
Right.
Marsh, right over there. Next thing you know, we at Battery Park.
Yeah.
We over here in Mosby. We going over to Broad Rock.
Right.
That's just how we were
Right.
coming up. Nowadays, everybody's gotten comfortable.
Right.
And I don't know if it's laziness or I don't know what it is, but you hit that on the head, man. we got to get out. We can do more if we just kind of just branch out a little bit.
Yes.
And when I'm finding out, there's a lot of people saying, man, thank you for putting this out there. Duh.
Right.
If you guys just open the curtains a little bit.
Right.
You'll see a whole lot more.
Yes. And just conversation.
Yep.
And just conversation. Just like what you was just saying, man. Like, if we actually spoke to each other, more people just take the time to speak to each other, you learn so much more about each other. And a lot of times we have way more in common than we have differences.
You're right. And I tell people all the time, a lot of times, and go back to what I said, before we wrap this up, I tell people the reason why I allow people, I said I allow, but the Gary and Garys that does it in football and a lot of other people that does the silent, I don't like doing it because your emotions are high when you lose or when you win. I don't want to bother any coach either. The players kind of a little bit different. You kind of because you know them. I only deal with the ones that I know.
Right.
If I don't know them, it has to be kind of a neutral situation for me to kind of come up and kind of talk to you and kind of do it that way because I got to feel comfortable and got to feel a vibe. But again, that's why I personally don't do it. That's my reason. But I said I'm gonna get out here and watch. I don't like watching the NFHS. I can't stand it. I have to see a game in person because I like to hear the emotions and see things and just kind of move around. And then when you're in the crowd, you never know who made around and you kind of learn some things.
Right.
So that's just me.
Yep.
So no, man, I appreciate you saying that struck a nerve right there.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, any shots out you want to give out, man? Because we're about to roll up out of here, man, and take a picture.
Shout out to my wife, my daughters, Manchester basketball, and just life, man. And just I'm a hard worker, but I'm appreciative of every blessing that God has bestowed upon me, man. So I just hope that He keeps empowering me to help more people and just do more.
Okay. Well, on that note, man, again, y'all, Coach Rasheed Wright, Manchester High, state champion 2024, pro skills basketball. Check them out. Come out next week, Highland Springs. Game is at 5 o'clock against Bishop Ireton, but they got a whole lot of other games that will be starting at 11 o'clock with Verona and Covenant and throughout the whole day. So if y'all not doing anything January 4th, come on out, man. We'll be there and watch some great girls basketball because we definitely need that. And on that note, make sure y'all like, subscribe the channel. Please go out there and watch what we got, man. And that's how we keep the lights on. And we out. I appreciate y'all watching the episode again today, y'all. Go over, make sure that y'all check out my man, rickstockel.com for any of your home buying needs. Appreciate it. Thanks again.